Globally, the pharma industry is worth $1.4 trillion. Trillion dollars. And the big blockbuster companies are American companies. In fact, almost 50% of that 1.4 trillion is what the U.S. pharmaceutical industry brings in. Okay, wow. So U.S. pharmaceutical industry brings in almost half of the world when it comes to that kind of revenue. They've spent over $100 million on lobbying, by the way, in 2022, meaning they go and talk to politicians and try to get legislation passed. And by the way, the doctor that I quoted, so, I mentioned, she's part of Biden's administration. Yeah. So that's the other part of this is people would say, well, why would the government want this? I mean, we're
already in relations with them for all kinds of, all kinds of deals that have already been made. So this just feels like another deal they've made to, kind of combine the two forces together of government and pharmaceutical companies.
So what's the solution to this? Do you guys believe that a pharmaceutical company should be for profit? And if you do believe that, then do you also believe that they should be allowed to market and advertise just like any other for-profit business? And would that, and potentially getting rid of that, would that solve some of this problem?
I don't think removing the profit incentive would make this better. In fact, I think it would make it worse because without profit, then we don't have research and development. And I do want to be clear too that the pharmaceutical industry also does a lot of good. Mm-hmm. So removing the profit incentive means a lot of people die without new drugs and new developments. And they can treat many diseases quite effectively that we couldn't treat, just 50 years ago. Maybe the answer is to prevent them from advertising to consumers. Maybe the answer is to eliminate their ability to lobby government. I'm not sure. I do think a good start though is to bring awareness, right? To when you hear this doctor on 60 Minutes telling you it's not your fault, it's your genetics. Oh, and it's a brain disease, which is strange. It's your brain telling you what to do. Okay, well, my brain tells me to do everything. That's a really weird way to position it. You have to ask yourself, what is the motivating factor behind this? Because obesity, again, didn't exist just a few generations ago. It's growing at a very rapid rate. We don't evolve that fast.
By you saying that it's attached to genetics in your brain, you open the door for everybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Everybody is now a customer.
Yes.
Everybody is a customer now by us attaching this to genetics and to the brain.
Yes.
So that is the part to me where you got to you open your eyes and go like, this is what's coming next. First, we sell you on the idea, and this is not some fucking conspiracy theory. They did it with opiates. They did it with Adderall and shit like that.
See where the opiate crisis is at the moment.
Yes,
it's out of control.
Yes. So that first they'll come out with all kinds of stuff to support how these are the reasons why you're obese, and it's not your fault. You have a chemical imbalance, or you got dealt a shitty hand of genetics. But don't worry. Pfizer or so-and-so has got something for you to help you out, to put you on a level playing field as everybody else. Well, and here it comes.
If you're a pharmaceutical company and you're looking at symptoms to control or treat, right? If you could pick one thing that contributes to lots of things, so if you could just pick one thing that now you could treat, that's a huge market, but also leads to all these other things, I can't think of a better thing than obesity, because obesity contributes to almost any chronic health issue, both psychological and physiological, that we can think of. Obesity makes all those things worse. So it's a massive market. Look, obese people plain and simple, they need more medications. And the medications, by the way, that fit and healthy people need are not big money-making medications. So you think of certain medications like insulin for someone with diabetes, or asthma medication, or certain things that, might get worse with, obesity, but some of them are really just genetic. Those are typically generic and expensive. When you look at all the things that fall under the umbrella of obesity, and if you make obesity a treatable disease itself without any of the other stuff, you're looking at blockbuster drugs.
Well, if I'm a company and I go through this pandemic and I'm looking at, one of the biggest contributors to people's fears in terms of like at the most risk was the obese community. And so this is, there's a big effort right now to, I'm sure, move away from being obese, whether that's through fitness, whether that's through nutrition, whether it's just looking at research and trying to figure out, like, how can I be less at risk? And now we're addressing obesity in terms of it being a genetic thing that all of a sudden now we can solve.
Yeah, I think if you really, I mean, it's not hard to see this, right? Obviously, the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, just the way the system is designed, this is their target audience or their target consumers. Then you have politicians who are heavily influenced by one of the largest industries in the world. And it's no surprise, right, that government is influenced heavily by large corporations for things like legislation and policy. That's been happening for a long time. But there's also this, which is politicians do much better when they can make a problem seem like it's not yours, but they have the solution. Okay, so think of it this way. If you had two politicians, and let's say that the number one wedge issue was obesity. It never is, but let's just say it was. Let's say, election season's coming, and on the top of the list of things that Americans are concerned with, it's not economy, it's not safety, it's not any of that stuff. It is obesity. And you had one politician who goes up there and they go, look, here's the deal, everybody. Obesity is a big problem. Lots of people are dying from it.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's genetics. Your brain is telling you what to do. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you elect me, we're going to have a war on obesity, and we're going to subsidize drugs that will solve obesity for you. And I'm going to make sure every American who's obese gets these drugs for free. They could take them and they will no longer be obese.
And it's going to resonate so hard with
money.
so many people because it's the majority of people that suffer from this and or are connected to somebody.
That's right.
Does.
And then on the other side, a politician comes up. So now he goes, and then the next person comes up and they go, hey, everybody, it's like, yes, obesity is a problem, but it's your lifestyle. It's how you eat. It's how you move. It's the way you live your life. You totally have the power to change this. And I hate to tell you this, but the government can't do anything to help you.
Listen,
you are not getting elected.
Listen,
nobody's going to vote for you.
We saw this example with the pandemic. I mean, and now, by the way, you're seeing all the articles coming out to support how important a healthy diet, vitamin D, and nutrition and exercise has to do with building your immune system and putting you in the best position possible to fight off or survive COVID. Yet none of that was communicated in the very beginning of all this, or for the first year and a half, 2 years. Now it's all coming afterwards. Yeah, after they've already made billions of dollars off of the vaccine, like this is the same type of deal. It's just like they're going to hold back the information that really matters right now. They're going to promote some other bullshit message because they have an agenda, and the agenda is to set the table for what's coming for you as a solution.